Now, I may be many, many things, and I've been called many, many names, but the one thing I can never be called is a promise breaker. The reason is that over the last few weeks, I've been telling you that we're now gathering momentum to the point that I think we don't know how to bring this show to you anymore. Too many launches happening all together and each being one better than the other. Just as an example, I'm going to show you what I have this week, and you'll know I'm not a promise breaker at all. Showed it to you last week, a full review, hands-on review of the Samsung Note 9. And remember, not just a review. We'll compare it to the previous, the Note 8. We'll actually do a shootout with the Apple iPhone X. So lots happening out there. The first unboxing of this, the Oppo F9 Pro, even the plastic hasn't come off. And then an unboxing and review of the Nokia 6.1 Plus and a whole lot more. So what did I say? Never break a promise, at least on this show.
Samsung brings the much anticipated Note 9 to India. Is it the best Android in the market, and should you buy it? We tell you. Nokia's new mid-ranger has almost all features up its sleeves. But is it the best phone available at 15,999 rupees? We attended the launch event of the spectacular Oppo F9 Pro, and we decided to unbox it for all of you. And Xiaomi unveils a brand new brand, Poco, with its very first smartphone, the Poco F1.
Now, of course, before I get started with all of that I have for you on the show, remember, the number of launches are unprecedented. For instance, Poco comes into India. That's a Xiaomi sub-brand, a more premium brand from them. And it's a very interesting story. We'll go deeper into this story when I actually do the full review. But before that, all the news from the world of mobiles.
Meet Poco, a brand new phone from Xiaomi which aims to give consumers true flagship power in a decent budget. Poco launched the F1 in the country to take on brands like OnePlus. The Poco F1 comes with the latest Snapdragon 845 liquid cooling technology, full HD plus screen with a notch on top and dual rear camera setup. The phone is priced starting at 20,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM and 64GB storage variant. Xiaomi's Poco also announced Poco F1 Armored Edition made of Kevlar aramid fiber, which is priced at 29,999 rupees, and it will only be available in the 8GB RAM option. We will unbox and review the Poco F1 next week on Cell Guru. Oppo unveiled the F9 Pro at an extravagant event in Mumbai. The F9 Pro is priced at 23,990 rupees and features a 6.3-inch display with water drop screen and a notch. Oppo also brings its major in technology, the VOOC flash charging in the F9 Pro. The phone has a petal-shaped pattern running along the back of the phone, an industrial first as Oppo claims. It's supposed to give the phone an elegant look. The phone also sports a dual rear camera with 16 and 2 megapixel configuration. However, the biggies is the 25 megapixel AI selfie camera that will allow users to take selfies in bright or low light. We will review the F9 Pro next week on Cell Guru.
Time now for this one, the Samsung Note 9. Much anticipated, that big one that always comes around this time with the legacy of taking forward this kind of a phone. Now, do remember, the first ever Note was the first true phablet. Many people seem to forget about it. In an era where every phone today is a huge screen phone, Samsung started it all off. It was a phablet and one of the first phones ever with an active stylus. So both were the big deals. But now these are run-of-the-mill things, right? Big screen phones and the fact that the Note has a stylus, this has been done to death. What did they do with the new phone? So I'll quickly give you the 2 or 3 things that I really love about this phone. The fact that this has this yellow stylus. Now, a lot of people have been saying it's just a color. But remember, it's all about aesthetics. The second part is much bigger screen, much bigger battery, incredible storage on this one. And the amount of things you can do with this. When I heard that this is a Bluetooth-enabled stylus, I said, what's the big deal? So many things you can do with this, including keeping the phone far away from you, pressing the button and actually taking a picture. Now, seems simple, but actually works very, very well. What else do they have, and what are the big difference between this, the Note 9 and the Note 8?
It's time to take note. Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Note 9 that claims to pack in top-notch specifications.
Over a period of time, we have seen that there is a segment of consumers who've emerged as what we call as Note loyalists. not only were they there with us when we launched our first Note, but they have graduated from one Note to the other, to the other, to the other. And these are the consumers who want to do a lot more with the phone as compared to many others. So for example, this time around, when we are saying that this one Note can replace a lot of devices, we are really talking about a Note that is capable of performing to the requirements of the user.
Priced at a starting price of 16,900 for the 128GB storage variant, is it time to really take note? And especially with the new iPhones and Google phones on the horizon, how does this big beauty fare? Let's find out. In keeping with everything that is almost standard for the Note series, the new Note 9 has a large screen. The screen size on this phone is 6.4 inches with a very minimal bezel screen. The display is QHD Plus along with Samsung's beautiful Super AMOLED LED Infinity display. Needless to say, the display colors are great. The design is slightly chunky, although the phone is pretty slim and light, though we would say that it is slightly difficult to operate this phone with one hand. The fingerprint scanner is located at the back of the phone like in the Note 8. We got the ocean blue color for review and the phone looks very striking. What adds to its pizzazz is its bright yellow S Pen that's tucked away at the bottom. The S Pen on the Note 9 gets charged as soon as you click it back into the phone. The Note 9 is meant for work and the all-new S Pen is testament to that. It is Bluetooth enabled, and other than a whole host of things that you could previously do with the S Pen, this S Pen can now act as a remote, so you can flip presentations with it or even use it to take pictures. Live messages are very much still there with a couple of new and fun brushes. And we say it's meant for work not just for the swish of the fancy S Pen, but also the massive battery that it packs in. The Note 9 has a 4000 mAh battery that lasted one full day of heavy use. There was no question of lag with this phone, even when we opened multiple tabs and played some games. The phone comes with two storage variants, the 128GB and the 512GB. This is already a lot, but it can be expanded to a whopping 1TB with a micro SD card. Coming down to the optics, there is a dual rear camera of 12 megapixel each. One acts as a telephoto lens and one wide angle. The depth in the pictures was good, especially in good light. There is also AR emojis which add a splash of fun. And of course, there is AI in the optics which can detect scenes and subjects and give pictures a lifelike nature. The colors in the images were slightly saturated though. The front camera is around 8 megapixel and it's pretty good even with low light shots. But with great specifications, how much different is the Note 9 from the previous Samsung Note 8? Let's see. Well, the design is very similar with the Note 9 having a slightly larger screen. Both the Note 8 and Note 9 have 6GB RAM, but the Note 9 also comes with a powerful 8GB RAM variant. The 4000 mAh battery on the Note 9 is much bigger than that of the Note 8, which was a 3300 mAh battery. So overall, these are the major differences. Otherwise, the phones are quite similar in performance and on the optics front as well. The Cell Guru verdict? The Samsung Note 9 is a power-packed phone. It has a large screen which is aptly supported by a large battery. The S Pen takes this phone an extra mile and we love the convenience of clicking pictures with it. People who use the Note series will love this phone and they're going to find it comfortable. It's priced steeply at 67,900 rupees. This is the best phone out there right now, but the question always remains, for how long will it remain the best?
Okay, we're done with the Note 9, but let's compare it now to the one phone that most people like comparing it with. And do remember, in about a month, this story will change. But right now, this is the Note 9 versus the Apple iPhone 10. Very soon, it will be the brand new Apple iPhones coming out somewhere in the middle of September.
When the iPhone X came out last year, its innovative features were the talk of the town. In less than a year, those same features may not seem as innovative anymore, but being the best Apple phone there is currently, we pit it against the all-new Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Let's see how the two fare when pit against each other. In terms of design, there is a big difference in the phones. The iPhone X has a smooth glass back with vertical dual cameras on the corner and curved edges, while the Note 9 has a more solid build with the rear cameras in the center of the phone and the fingerprint sensor at the back. The iPhone X does not have a fingerprint scanner, but it does support the infamous notch, something that the new Note 9 has not followed suit with. In fact, the display of the Note 9 is large with a 6.4-inch screen QHD Plus display. The iPhone X, on the other hand, has a 5.8-inch Retina AMOLED display. The Note 9 has Samsung's Super AMOLED Infinity display, which makes the display on this phone stand out. Large displays do need the support of big batteries, and that is exactly what the Note 9 packs in. iPhone X is a little behind of this front with a smaller 2716 mAh battery. In terms of the optics, both phones boast of best cameras. Well, they are neck to neck with the rear camera, as both come with a double 12-megapixel lens. The iPhone X has a 7-megapixel front shooter, while the Note 9 has an 8-megapixel front camera. Now, which amongst those two phones is the real workhorse? The Note 9 is built for work and play, as Samsung claims, and the S Pen is exactly for that. The iPhone X does not come with a stylus. In terms of the RAM, the iPhone X has a 3GB RAM, while the Note 9 has a large 6GB RAM. The iPhone X runs on iOS 11.3 currently, and the Note 9 has the Android Oreo 8.1. Samsung Galaxy Note 9 is priced at 67,900 rupees for the 128GB storage variant, while the iPhone X is priced very steeply at 95,390 rupees for the 64GB variant. Overall, we would say this is like comparing apples to oranges quite literally. The operating systems makes these phones poles apart from each other. And while the iPhone X has a trendy design, the Note 9 is a true 2018 phone with all the current feature trends on it except for the notch. So notch lovers can look the Apple way, although at a much steeper price point.
Okay, the first unboxing. Now this one is only an unboxing because the other one, the Nokia, will be an unboxing and a full review. This is the F9 Pro from Oppo, just got released. Our full review will be next week. So let's get started by unboxing and showing you what all you're going to experience next week. So what do you expect from this phone? Let me just take you through very, very quickly some of the things you will see. So the build quality of this phone, the 3 colors that it comes in, the materials used are absolutely fantastic. The second thing you'll notice is that it doesn't have a notch because it doesn't have a traditional notch. It has something called a water drop, the smallest notch you'll ever see. Most people say it's almost literally invisible. The third is something called VOOC charging, which means in 5 minutes it will give you 2 hours of talk time, and the full charge is the fastest in the industry is what most people are saying. Then of course Oppo with their dual cameras, their beauty shot, 25 megapixel is the front camera. So all those things kick in. But the one part that not many people are talking about, but I really like that the company is taking up, is the fact that it actually has 5 different layers of protection for your charging, which means from the time that the charger, the adapter is put and plugged into a wall socket, to that the voltage protection that comes from there, the wire onto the phone. I think that is a big deal. We keep hearing of incidents where things happen because a phone was being charged. Well, this has 5 layers of protection. Let's get the phone to you. Now let's get the phone open. So let's see what all really comes in. So the box is typical Oppo, though it's a little bit thicker than I've really seen most Oppo boxes, says the F9 Pro. Now it has 6GB, 64GB, that's the phone we have right now. As you can see right from the very beginning, it's the documentation, and of course I'm sure there'll be a cover inside. Yes, there's a cover and documentation out here. And then of course comes the phone. तो ये है उनका blue phone, बहुत ही बेहतरीन again. So as you can see, one of the big things that Oppo has done is of course this prism effect that is coming. I'm hoping the camera can capture it. This is built into the glass and gives a very premium look. Dual camera at the back, fingerprint scanner is out here. And then I'm going to put the phone on and show you the part that I was talking about. This is where you can see it. A very small circular, almost like from the top, a small little water drop had trickled down. That then is the phone. Full review next week. So 2 new phones launched by Nokia. One will come in September. We still don't have an exact date for it, but the second one in my hand, I'll unbox it. We'll go through a full story on this one right now. This is the Nokia 6.1 Plus. The other one is called the Nokia 5.1 Plus. I'm going to show you exactly what all this is. Now, this is a very unusual box, and I like the fact that Nokia, as always, is doing things different from the rest of the market. So not that typical chunky box, looks very, very different, almost like a chocolate box. And if you're the kind of person that thinks that a phone isn't better than a chocolate, then I fear for you. So the Nokia 6.1 Plus, and at the back they're talking about some of the main features in the phone. So 5.8-inch screen, full FHD plus, 16 megapixel and then a 5 megapixel dual camera, advanced AI imaging, so that's something we'll of course test out, dual sight mode, simultaneous front and rear camera for storytelling, something that Nokia has been doing and doing very well for a while. Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 is the SoC. So interesting, but let me tell you, because I've seen one that has already been unboxed for me, it's really the first thing that's going to strike you as some very, very premium good looks in this phone. That really makes this phone look and stand out from the rest. Front and glass back. Again, like I said, very, very unique packaging, very different from what you will normally see. Everything in one flat pack, so there's no front, second layer and third layer. Phone right in front of you, of course, comes with the rest of the paraphernalia out here. So what they've got out here, of course, is the charger, the cable, and I would say headphones. I would be right. Now let's move on to the phone. Now this is their black version, and surprisingly enough, the black version of this phone is only an India exclusive. Doesn't go out anywhere else in the world. So I've told you a lot about the phone. Let's take a look at our hands-on review.
Sometimes it's okay to be the jack of all trades and the master of none, especially in the smartphone market. After all, then you don't end up compromising on any feature. The new Nokia 6.1 Plus does just that. It is a no-compromise, no-nonsense phone which sits pretty in the mid-budget segment and packs in almost everything a 2018 smartphone should have. But should it be on the top of your list if your budget is 16,000 rupees? We tell you. The 6.1 Plus looks good. Nokia has dumped the copper accents seen on the last Nokia devices and joined the trend of glass phones. It has glass on the front and back, and yet it feels solid in the hands. As always, the build quality on this device is par excellence.
The first thing that you'll notice here is a contemporary all-screen design. Both front and back are glass. Between those you have an aluminium frame, so you get the Nokia quality and craftsmanship. But the reason to buy us, it's really those three things that we've always stood for. First of all, design and craftsmanship. Secondly, the Nokia quality. I would say that that's the real-life experience. So we obsess about how we integrate the technology.
There is a 3.5mm headphone jack and a fingerprint scanner at the back, which works well. The front is beautiful too. Nokia has managed to fit in a 5.8-inch FHD Plus display in a compact body, which looks smart and classy. There is a notch on top of the screen, making the screen ratio 19:9. The screen is bright and crisp. The colors are not oversaturated, but we don't like the fact that it comes with the old Corning Gorilla Glass 3. With a Snapdragon 636 processor and 4 GB of RAM, the performance of the phone is pretty decent. We didn't face any lags as such while browsing on this phone. There is 64 GB of internal memory, which can be expanded to 400 GB. The Nokia 6.1 Plus comes with a dual camera setup on the back. A 16MP primary lens and a 5MP secondary shooter combination captures good shots in daylight. There are AI enhancements made to the camera to click and recognize better pictures. There is a 16MP front-facing camera which is good as well. Then there is of course the Bothi to click from the rear and front cameras simultaneously and even live stream it to channels if you wish. The big plus of the 6.1 Plus is that it runs stock Android and is part of the Android One family, which means as and when Android updates are announced, this phone is sure to get them. The 3060 mAh battery lasted a day with full use. The Cell Guru verdict? The Nokia 6.1 Plus is an all-rounder. The Nokia 6.1 might not be the best batsman or the best bowler in the team, but we all know the importance of an all-rounder. One can always count on them, and that is what the 6.1 Plus is to Nokia. We like the phone, and it is rightly priced at 15,999 rupees.
So much has already happened on the show, but so much more still has to happen. We'll take a quick break and come right back. So we frightened you a few days back, right? We told you that even though you've switched off Google location and Google location history, Google has still been tracking you. Well, lots of you wrote in saying, now tell us how we can truly, absolutely, 100% get Google to stop tracking us. Okay, now I have a frightening thought which I won't really express right now. I was speaking to one of my producers of the show saying the only way to do that is ... But let's not go out there. That's just me and my paranoia. But there is a way that you can do it, and you can be quite confident that everything gets switched off. Here it is.
No matter where you go, Google is watching you. That seems to be the joke doing the rounds. But amidst reports of Google monitoring people's location despite them having turned off their location history, here are quick tips on how you can truly turn off Google location tracking off from your devices. For Android phones, this is buried in your settings. So go into settings, then tap on Google and then Google account. Within that, go into data and personalization. Now tap on web and activity and toggle this to off. This will stop web apps and other apps from using your location in the background or storing any location data hereon. For iOS or desktop users, do the same by going into your Google account on a browser, click on Personal Info and Privacy, and then on My Activity, and on Activity Controls. Click the Web and App Activity toggle to off. While you're at it, make sure Location History is toggled off here as well. This will limit certain apps' location-driven capabilities. But if you want to disable Google completely from tracking your location, then the Web and Activity setting is the secret sauce in achieving just that.
That then was the Cell Guru show for this week, but I have lots and lots next week, and I have a lot of previews for you. Watch this, and I'll see you next week.